So let's kick off this session about understanding FundCount. And before I start, I'd like to preface my remarks and the demo of the software we're going to see today with the fact that money is actually only a measure of wealth. It's data, which is the means by which your wealth grows or falls, both the capture of it and the representation of it. FundCount is here to help its clients master that data and therefore really be the arbiter of their wealth. In our session today, I'm going to just spend a little bit of time prefacing my demo of the software, which I suspect everybody's keen to have a look at. And then we'll get into that software. We'll have a look at some reporting, which is, of course, what everybody's interested in terms of end results. But we'll also look at the scope of the system, the accounting layer, which is, of course, what makes it so robust, and data management. We'll touch on that because, obviously, getting data into the system is a real key to driving value out of it. If you haven't heard of FundCount before, you can see our life story there. We started out some 20 odd years ago, more than that now, in Cyprus, and you can see we've been steadily growing and adding offices around the world. We are a global business. About 60% of our clients are actually within the US, though. And we have staff and clients in some 20 or 30 countries now, all the usual hotspots you'd expect, and a few you might not. And roughly speaking, about a third of our clients are family offices, probably slightly more than that now. A third are fund administrators, and the other third are hedge funds, private equity firms, and wealth managers. So we've heard people speak about the importance of understanding that family office space, which I hope we certainly have some insights into. But moving as we do across various verticals, it actually gives us insights in both in terms of the origination of money with family offices and how that is deployed through hedge funds, private equity firms, asset managers, etc. As a team, we're about 100 people now. As you can see, we come out blue chip industry, blue chip consulting, the fund admin world and the banking world. And we have quite a high powered team with us. As you can see there, 95% have 1, 2 or 3 degrees behind their name. So what is FundCount? Well, I'm not proposing to read out this in any detail. But what I would draw your attention to is that unified platform. FundCount actually deals with portfolio performance, partnership ownership, attribution reporting, the investment, general ledger, general reporting, and the data aggregation and consolidation all in one software code. That does make us a little different from many of our peers, which use multiple pieces of software, which are more or less well integrated. Everything in FundCount sits on one code base. And that gives obvious efficiencies out of the box. And we'll look at some of these features and attributes as we go through the demo. One of the challenges for a family office when you're looking at new technology is understanding what's out there. And at FundCount, we love our competition. It helps us help you understand the market, what's great about FundCount, and where you might need to think about joining it with best-of-breed solutions. As you saw from the earlier slide, we do deal with all asset classes, and that's a relative rarity in the industry. So why do clients choose FundCount? Well, they're dealing with multiple data sources, usually with multiple systems, and for want of a better description, that creates data spaghetti. You end up with lots of people in Excel trying to reconcile all of that, both inbound data and between systems. You end up with even more Excel and people trying to report out, and sometime later somebody gets something that might be useful. By bringing that all together in a unified platform, FundCount tidies up the data flows. It means that your reporting is both faster and more robust. Why does any of that matter? Well, here's a real story from a real client. I'm speaking to one of our family offices in Australia the other day, And the gentleman concerned told me that none of his staff had actually logged into FundCount for 3 months. The system has been chugging away, pulling in data, processing it, reconciling it, and pushing out the reports seamlessly without anybody needing to be in the system. Why is that important? Well, it gives you more time to do more interesting things. That might be personal. If you're here in Cancun, it might be going down the beach and enjoying a tequila. It might be figuring out how AI is going to change your world and make your investment decisions sharper and more profitable. So FundCount is a data repository. It pushes data out to many systems, and that can include Power BI, as you see here. So if you're of my age, you might still be wedded to nice, colourful reporting on Excel-like formats. So you could use this, and of course I could use this on my iPhone or my iPad. So we can see income and expenses there. I might want to see my wealth and where it is and how it's performing. And FundCount can help on the compliance side as well, because it will produce things like K1s. Of course, the world is changing. AI is coming along, and we are releasing an AI reporting tool to our clients for free early next year. And you'll be able to use a tool like WhatsApp to ask natural questions of your data. So you've got a few examples there. This will be system agnostic, actually, interestingly. So if you are using other systems and you want to think about how to get some quick wins with AI, do talk to us, because you could use our tool with any of our peers in the market. So that's what I wanted to just briefly share with you. In the interests of cybersecurity, I'm going to stop sharing that screen, and if you'll give me a second, I'm going to move over to the demo. Welcome to FundCount. This is a landing page, a dashboard if you like. Any of our reports in the system can be made into dashboards, so you can see what you use frequently, instantly. I love this screen. This is a lot more than just a report of the position of a particular entity. FundCount does not care what an entity is. It could be a real person, a trust, a partnership, a corporation, even a virtual portfolio. We cope with VCC structures in Singapore, for example, for our families there. This is showing me what this particular entity is invested into. And you can see shares, cost, price, unrealized gains and losses. It's showing me the family members or partners or intermediate holding vehicles that are invested into this particular fund. In this case, it's a unit-based fund, but it's showing me commitments as well. And it's tracking all of the accounts that are being used to trade all of this. Now, if you choose to use FundCount in a manual or semi-manual way, this is a great screen. You can stay in this and do 90% of the transactions that you would need to do in the system. It allows you to add new positions. It allows you to record corporate actions, buy and sell. It allows you to create new bank accounts. It allows you to transfer cash between them. You can add new partners. You can see the performance of those partners and commit deposits and withdrawals. So you don't need to go to a busy menu screen and search your way around the system. You can do pretty much everything from here. And all you need to do is select the appropriate entity or fund that you want to deal with. And you can see here we've got a crypto fund. As you'll see in a second, when it comes on, I apologize for the speed of my internet. As you'll see down here, when it comes through, we do have some FTX data in there. As you can tell, this is a fairly old demo set. But that does make an interesting point, actually. You know, QuickBooks, Excel, they are great tools. Are they necessarily the right tools for running a family office? Well, possibly not. FundCount deals with any types of structures. we have something called our master feeder structure chart. Now, this is actually maintained dynamically by the system, and you can see here that it's showing me at today's date the structure. I can go back and back to the past, forward to the future, and see what things look like depending on the data that I've entered. This system will cope with anything: master feeder structures, nested entities, side pockets, open funds, closed funds, unit series or equalization-based entities. It will create entities seamlessly and easily. You just need to add them, and you add a name, and that's it. But of course, if you want to use FundCount in an automated mode, you need to give it settings. You need to tell it, for example, how do you want P&L allocated? Is it units, commitments, or capital of some description? Is this a unit series or equalization-based entity? And as appropriate, how do you want equity rebalancing performed? In terms of the asset side of life, it's fully multi-asset. We have 4 senior shells, a number of junior shells, so you really just need to select the shell that gives you the closest data fit. The system allows you to have unlimited dimensions, attributes, sectors, categories, whatever you want to call them, to analyze the portfolio by. And if all of that is not enough, you can create as many custom fields as you wish. This system, unlike many of our peers, is infinitely extendable. You can have static data, you can have time-related data, as you see here, and you can have calculating fields as well. All of that adds up to the fact that this system will allow you to collect any data points. It will allow you to record any asset classes in any structures, and instantaneously determine who owns what. So you can see I've got an undistributed gain and loss here. Just by hitting that allocate button, it will use the rules to actually allocate that through to the partners. Very straightforward, very easy. In terms of what that means for reporting, well, we saw a few Power BI reports earlier, but they're all being generated off the standard reports in the system. There are many, as you can see here, related to portfolio, general ledger, accounts payable, fund level reporting, family level reporting. As you saw earlier, the system will generate things like K1s, 1065s, 1099s, etc. And you've got the ability to very quickly and easily create any reports you need. These are the standard reports in the system for portfolio, but I've re-templated the portfolio report into all of these. So to give you a flavor of the sort of things you might want to see, you could produce a listing of your equities, showing all the relevant data points. Systems generating IRR for me, it's tracking capital calls, commitments, funded, unfunded, etc. You might have fixed income holdings. So again, you've got maturity dates there. You've capturing cost, price, etc. And that could be for family loans, inter-entity loans, intercompany loans, could be marketables, anything at all. So changing these, really straightforward. You've got a whole list of parameter-driven tools you can use. So you can select a portfolio, instruments, funds. You can decide how you want that data presented. So you might want it by custodian as well, and we'll have that as the senior data point. You can add new columns of data, new data points. You can see here I've added cost to this, and you don't have to have these reports in English. You can have them in Chinese, Arabic, Spanish, French, German, whatever you would like. You've got the ability to have look-through. You can decide how you want performance calculated for this fund. You can bring in benchmarking. You don't even have to have this report in the currency of the entity, which is US dollars. You could have it in anything else you've got Forex records in the system for, and you can create any number of graphs, and this is Excel-like, so choose your graph, select your legends, etc. So reporting is very, very flexible. You can push it out on Excels, on PDFs, you can push it out to a portal, you can push it out to things like Power BI, and you see I've got a data integration here for that. Or you can use that AI reporting engine that we'll be introducing soon. So this is a very flexible system, both in terms of the structures it can handle, the data it can handle, and how you can report out. Obviously, data is the key to all of that. So if we come back to our master feeder, you'll forgive me, I'm a Deloitte's qualified chartered accountant out of London for my sins, so I get excited about accounting. And all of these entities could have their own chart of accounts, they could share one, or you could even let the system generate one or use a hybrid of those. You can generate any number of charts of accounts. You can add new accounts very easily. Most of our family office clients would do that around expenses. You could see that I've got a whole load of classifications that I've created and can select from. And you are able to resort this data, so you don't. This comes with IFRS and US GAAP out of the box if that's important to you, but it will also cope with, excuse me, other gaps as well. You can configure those into the system. It will allow you to accrue for income and expenses, and there's no need for a month-end accruals process. If I've got an audit fee I want to accrue over a year, I just give it the date range, tell it how to calculate it, and it'll go off and do that for me. Many of our family offices are starting to get quite sophisticated in how they're charging family office costs to their individual family members or entities, and you can create any number of fee classes with hurdles and management fees. That's very useful on the investment side of things. Of course, as you'd expect, this system will produce a general ledger listing. For any period of time or accounts that you wish. It's going to produce trial balances. It's going to give you full financials 24/7 at the touch of a button. So P&L, cash flow, balance sheet. You do not need to go through a closed process to do this. You may wish to at certain important reporting points, but you don't need to. Excuse me. And this is a full consolidation tool, and it allows you to do that extremely easily. You can see here that SPV1 in this group is not related to Trust Beneficiary 1 in this group, but maybe they share a tax attribute, they share an investment strategy, and for some reason I'd like to see them together. You can do that in seconds, and what I'm about to show you on the financial side, of course, applies to the portfolio side as well. So I can just use my parameter-driven tool here to select the relevant entities, and it will give me a consolidated balance sheet. And this is real consolidation, not just aggregation. There are elimination matrices behind this that you can maintain. Chug away for a second. There you go. So how does data get in to generate all of this? Well, that can be manual, of course. You can go and buy into a private equity or a partnership. You can actually track it to commitments as well, select the instrument, which account is being paid out of, any fee, transaction fees, etc. You can record corporate actions as you'd expect, so reinvested distributions, cash, spin-offs, mergers, etc. And you can revalue assets, and you can do this in bulk across all the entities in which this asset is held, or if you're talking about T-bills and getting different prices from different brokers, you can do individual valuations in individual entities. So it's going to work out and apply the movement in the unrealized gain and loss journal for me, and it's going to do all of that automatically. So that's one way of data getting in. We have APIs. That's another way. They're generally used to link up to market data systems like Bloomberg, etc. And then finally, we actually have a tool for bringing in data from flat files, which is how most data will reach you from custodians. Unfortunately, this will take in anything, position files, corporate actions, capital actions, entire TVs, whatever you need. And it really is just a simple mapping exercise. This is an Excel-like presentation of the fields in FundCount. Very straightforward if you have the data in the first place. And if you've ever dealt with your banks and trying to get data out of them, you'll probably know that that's your biggest challenge. So all that data comes in. How do we know it's right? Well, if I imported this, the system will actually run a check and it will do a reconciliation for me. So it's going to check what has been imported against what it was expecting to see and tell you if there are any data breaks for repair. In fact, one of our clients even automates all of this, so you don't need to do it manually either. So if I've got 1,300 I'm expecting to see and 7,000 odd have been reported in, I've got a big difference. I can have a look at the entire investment history and see where the problem is and correct for that. I can see the original entry screens and correct for that if I have the role and permission, and this is a role and permission based system. Having done all of that, I might be entering a number of capital transactions, assignments, commitments, etc. Having completed that, you'll do certain audits, and these will vary according to your particular need. But you can see there that the system has now told me where there are differences between masters and feeders. As this system writes both sides of that buy-sell journal and will not let you write intercompany journals, one-sided intercompany journals, usually those differences relate to what we saw at the start here, undistributed gains and losses, which you can allocate. You can do that individually or you can do them all at the same time. So that is FundCount very, very briefly. I hope that's been of interest for you. If you would like to talk to us about our AI tool or this, please do reach out. But I hope that's given you an insight into the power of what you should be expecting from your next technology purchase. Thank you very much for your time.